Hello. I'm back. Back for some more Assassin's Creed Revelations. This time, though, it is mostly going to be the little, like, Desmond missions that you get for doing all of the fragments. I've done one already, and it was sort of like... sort of all about him, you know? Just all about him. But, like, his life before he got sort of captured and tested on by the Templars. So I don't know if this is going to be, like, almost like behind the scenes of what happened during all the games up to this point. Yeah, part 2. We'll have to wait and see. And if I've got, like, enough time left over, we'll just continue with the main story as well. Oh, S17 would be subject 17. Desmond Miles .ddna. So like he has files, and the file type is a DNA type. Nice. Memory archive.mem. They're still not real pixels though.
Memory sequence archived. Recalibrating Animus idle parameters.
Yeah, last time I could make these. Oh. Just gotta remember the buttons for it. Who's banging all the pans?
God, I hated that.
Oh, up there.
Hanging 5 days a week just before dawn. Up before the birds. Me and the other kids.
Come on, Desmond, get up. No lagging.
Exercise. Mandatory.
Why is this?
Dip in the creek to get clean, then oats with butter and apple juice for breakfast. Ugh.
Oh, there's like an ether. Ah, I see. Maybe the... okay, maybe that ether doesn't work through floor. It's not a constant stream.
I must have walked 1,000,000 miles before I was 10. But it was nice. I liked those days out in the hills. The hush, the open air, the deep dark of the forest. Crunch of boots on the dry ground.
Can you see Rapid City from here? No, that's much further east.
Oh, it is there. Do a little bit of an angling. How can I don't think I can touch these cubes. But there's also full damage. Do I go here? Oh god! I thought that there was glass there. Or something. But no, not at all. And I can't make things in this space? Or can I? No. I am confused. Okay, weird. Right. Sure. So falling all the way would have really hurt, but falling just that distance, that's fine. Apparently. Alright, so this is gonna slowly move down. It's trying to like introduce new things to me. I don't know how difficult these will be. Right, what if I just cheat the system here and not even go into the ether stream thing? Yeah, what do you think of that? I can hear sparkling. Like that usually means a collectible or something like that, right? Uh-oh. Not too close to it. Like, don't tell me that there's like secrets in here. I wouldn't be surprised though. Oh, there is a roof. Right, and then go through it. There is secrets in here. Oh. A roof. Moving down, is it? Oops. Oh, okay, no, fuck those. Anything multiplayer? Nah. I wonder if that thing, that like light there, is to sort of suggest that you could spiral up.
What is this war about? What are we fighting for? They never told me much. Just enough. They kept things shrouded. An air of secrecy. For my own good, they said. So we stayed hidden. Away in the Black Hills. If anyone ever knew who we were or what we were doing, there'd be trouble.
They're everywhere, Desmond. They have their hands in everything. Politics, war, finance, high-tech, agriculture. People are asleep. And while they dream, Abstergo builds a nightmare.
Abstergo. The first time I saw that name, it was on the side of a bottle of ibuprofen. Mom laughed when I asked her about it. Can't get away, she said.
Well, we pick our battles, I guess. So many to choose from.
She told me the average American household contains 36 Abstergo-owned products at any given moment. If you tried to purge them from your life completely, it would be a full-time job.
Is this getting me anywhere? Wow. I am somewhere. Do I jump? What's pushing me? No. What pushed me? Something pushed me. Did I make it anyway? I think because I died down here, it let me have it. Maybe it pushed me and was like, no, you can go. Right, so I think that I was supposed to sort of just go from the edge and jump down and then put a new platform here. That looks like it would have been fine. Oh, it's a bad shape.
So this was it. The global conspiracy.
I think
of
it kills me,
Serco.
but I don't know.
Fingers in every pie. Governments, corporations, universities. Mom and Dad made it sound so scary. But it didn't feel scary. An enemy has to have a face, but all I could see was a bottle of painkillers.
So I think that his parents were assassins, but I don't know. I don't think they're like openly said about that. I think that he only really became an assassin after they somehow died. I think that they were, because he is, and you usually are by blood. Right, so falling damage doesn't affect you when you're on these. So yeah, maybe some Templars killed his parents, and then the sort of Assassin's Order sort of picked him up and was like, "You're an assassin now." Like, okay. Unless it was at the same time. As his parents being alive.
What scared me was the training. Sweat, tears, bloody lip every once in a while.
Focus, Desmond, focus.
How
Guess he
far were
was.
they going to push me?
Strength, speed, agility. No excuses.
Couldn't stand it. What was the point? For years and years, I thought some major catastrophe was on the horizon. I didn't know
fencing.
what to expect.
Fuck. yeah, it restarts you anyway. It's kind of better to fall through because then you can at least see. Oh, fuck.
One day you'll understand. You'll see. All this unease will be worth something. I promise.
If they'd been more open with me. If they'd shown me things. Taken me places. Maybe it would have made more sense.
Like right now, this does not seem like Assassin's Creed, does it? At least to me. I always forget that it has a real world element as well. Actually, is it ever said where Desmond was, like in the facility? Like where in the world? Because he quite quickly gets to Rome. Well, not to Rome, to Ezio's like villa. I always just imagined he was in the UK somewhere because like Templars is like a very UK thing. All that stuff. Failed to reinitialize. Wonder if there's anything after completing these actually. Probably not. Maybe a bit of story. Right, so that roughly took 15 minutes. And we have 8 more to do. So yeah. they will take a while. We should have saved them all for like the one stream. Or edit them together. Cut out all the loading. What is that noise? I think I recognize it from like an Alien movie. Like the original Alien movie. But I don't know if that's like actually a computer noise. It sounds like something rotating.
Archived. Recalibrating Animus idle parameters.
And like hitting
I wanted out. I wanted
guitar
my own
string or
life,
something.
To live my own way.
So he didn't like the Templars. We knew this. Because he became a bartender, I think it was. I hear jingly. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, wait. I am not where I thought I was. I'm pretty sure that has glass on it. We have to get over this. Okay. It just takes like one... Oh, I am stuck. Just takes one misstep and then... then I'm screwed. Like that. Fuck. Shit. It's right at the top. Okay, so if I get up to that, I think I can jump across, clear the gap, and then put down something so I don't die. I could maybe make it to that middle beam. Close. Okay, I actually don't know how to do this. I don't see a way. Jump to that middle bit. Okay, go from the middle beam, jump to this middle bit here, and then jump over. I'll try it. may as well jump from here. Yeah, this juts out the most, doesn't it? I'd put it down, but broke it because it was partially still in it. But I survived. Survived. Oops. Oh, I've got to get back over? Oh, really?
16 years old. Where was I going? No idea. Just away. That's it. That was the plan.
It's
Not
so
much
bad.
of one.
Right, so
Never
he...
guessed what I was doing. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I just walked right out. Someone realized I was gone. They shouted. I started running.
Desmond! Desmond!
He ran away from the assassin order at 16. Like, he could just explain all this in one cutscene, not have to give me the puzzles. The puzzles to his
Just
own mind.
ran and ran. All that training was finally worth something.
What?
God, it was so dark when I left. And the forest.
Oh my god.
Endless. I didn't dare take the roads.
Desmond? Where are you?
Whoa.
Mother. Calling out. Begging me to stay. But I wouldn't. I followed the
It's like
hills
a river.
down. Down until I hit a stream. I followed that to a river, and from the river to an old access road.
Oh, I see what they're doing here. It's fine. So terrifying. Okay, just stay on it. Just patience. But I have to go lower. This whole like moving and placing is not good. The engine does not like it. Not at all. Fuck. Forwards and backwards isn't so bad. There's walls. Right. I'm just gonna clip this wall and then jump. And just repeat that. Do it in big steps, less likely to fall off. It hates it. It really hates it. It's like everything's made of ice. I could probably reposition like this. But yeah, if I'm free falling, then it can place underneath me quite easily. Right, this is gonna be a bitch going at a right angle from the flow. Yeah. Annoying. Real bad.
I walked for hours that day. The summer sun keeping me warm well into the evening.
I hope this is the right way. Somehow I don't think it is. Oh my god. It just looks like death on there.
Found a clearing after dark. Fell asleep beneath the stars. Never had a quieter night. Not before or since.
Like, this is supposed to be like nice and chill, but I'm making it so much more difficult than it needs to be. Ugh.
Walking. Too scared to hitch a ride. What the hell was I doing?
Just rocks.
Lost in the Badlands for a day. Felt like a week. Endless ocean of wrinkled earth. Can't believe a place could look so dead. I'm gonna die, aren't I? I'm gonna die here.
No, just use your eagle vision.
Finally met some girls from Illinois.
Oh, fuck.
So bubbly, so kind. One day drive to Omaha, another to Chicago.
That's what I mean by I make it too difficult. Oh, this is nice. I remember this kind of projection kind of thing being like a new thing. Did it a lot in movies and stuff. Yeah, that doesn't touch that. But this back and forth.
Then somewhere, someone said to me,
If you've got nothing, you go to New York. That way, if you leave with nothing, people don't ask why. And if you leave with something, you are one lucky son of a bitch.
What is all this?
that's where I went. New York City.
It helped.
Into skyscrapers and subways. To filth and folly.
It was supposed to.
Into the maddening crowds.
Yeah, and then he became a bartender. I like that this is supposed to be like amazing backstory, but just like I used to be an assassin, then I became a bartender. And that's kind of it. Like when you hear like amazing tales and things like that, you don't really expect them to ever be modern. So when they are modern, it's jarring. Well, in video games anyway. I think that, yeah, if things are sort of relatable, it cheapens it slightly, doesn't it? Right, so yeah, it's good that it tells you which ones you've done. Wait. I thought that there would be another. Right, now I have to check. No, I'll check the achievements, because I didn't see exactly what the achievement was called. I think there's an achievement for each one. Maybe there's only 5 parts. For some reason I thought there might be 10. Like one for every 10 memory fragments. But no, I don't think there is. It's quite an interesting noise. Yeah.
Memory sequence archived. Warning. Memory leak detected. Recalibrating Animus idle parameters.
If I
Back
had...
to work when the sun goes down.
Oh,
Brooklyn JMZ into the city. Transferred Washington Square, down to the Triangle.
lasers. Let's see what they do. Yeah, I thought so. It like all of this reminds me like an art installation of someone's sort of life story. Ink buddy, old pal, how are you? I'm doing
from
pretty
below
good.
like the living dead. Into the sun, the light shocking my eyes. Walking those 10 minutes between the subway and the bar always felt so good. But that feeling never lasted. Some days the city's a vampire. It steals all your best moments. They come and go in seconds and fade away. You end up
Oh fuck, they kill me too.
remembering only the worst.
Oh. Are they not all in line? Are they all... Oh, they're not in line. But yeah, Blue, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, fuck. I am not smart. Wait, what happened? What hit me? You're good, you're grinding missions on GTA? I guess, is it GTA Online? The old mission grind? Yeah, GTA Online. I remember that game. I was looking at, like trailers and stuff for the next Assassin's Creed 3. Next for me, not like next
Tending bar at bad weather.
in the real world.
I just walked in and they handed me a shaker. Took me on for my ravishing looks. I think the owner had a little crush. My winning smile.
Hey, what's that drink you invented?
I laughed at my past.
Is
laughed
that
at my
the owner?
family, joked about everything. Even the end of the world.
Had it last time?
Shirley Templar?
Shirley Templar, what's in it?
The usual. I just had some gin.
Right on. Portos.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was looking at trailers for Assassin's Creed 3, and there was also trailers for GTA 5, like in the same kind of time period. Fuck, I died. But yeah, it's quite amazing how GTA 5 / GTA Online is still like relevant. Like it still looks pretty good. It's still enjoyable, it's still funny. Voice actor kind of sounded like August from Tales of from the Borderlands. I don't remember that character at all, but I've only played it once a long time ago. Okay, so this has got to be midway. Shit, I pressed the wrong button. Really badly timed. Oh. Won't hit the ground. It was all the way to the ground.
There was a big dream floating out there. And every night I saw people dreaming it. I don't know how they did it. It takes as much money to smile as to pay rent in this place.
It almost looks like a mortal chamber. These like kind of concrete walls, some people quite like them, but I used to think that they were quite ugly, but I reckon with like the right lighting like this, the quite ambient lighting, they can look quite nice in a weird way. Oh. What? Have I got to press a button? It'd be nice if I knew where it was. Right, where's the furthest away? Yeah, there. that is actually it.
The more I missed my family, the more I hated myself for it.
Whoa.
I told myself I wanted a new family. I wanted to start over.
Want to go out over or under? I think it's over then under.
Hey, Dad, you going to the after party?
Nah, I'm a little out of it. Lights, action, bass drum. Mind-numbing. 124 beats per. Twice the speed of a beating heart.
I was gonna say, hopefully it doesn't want me to go back.
So where are you from?
He was raised in a cult or something like that. You know, out west.
You're
My
raised in a
parents were
cult.
Conspiracy freaks. They live off the grid, in the woods.
Seriously?
God, they all look so good. Girls in their skirts, batting eyes, beads of sweat. Everyone was so beautiful in those flashing lights.
And then when the lights turned on, they looked horrible.
You want to dance?
I was a new man.
How
Born
high up
again.
do I have to be?
Alone, but alive. Trying to forget.
Come on.
Let go, Desmond. Just let it go. Forget it.
Oh. Oh. Like in the street. Do I have to... So is this supposed to be like I'm drunk? I bet this looks awful on the capture. Let's go over the traffic. Yeah, whenever it goes back to that, that's the end. Rotten apple. He said he liked it. Okay. It made like a complete noise and then cut it off. Right, so one more. I'm going to check the achievements. That one was called the Rotten Apple. I hate this. Does this get slower the more games you have as well? Oh, okay. There we go. Rotten Apple, here it is. Complete Desmond sequence. Yeah, I think there is only 5. They're all DLC ones. Beyond that point, thinking of like DLC actually, there are 2 other games in all of Assassin's Creed which are sort of DLC, but then they gave them standalones. I would like to play them, but only one of them has a physical release, and the other one doesn't. Unless I can maybe find a sort of version of Black Flag with Freedom Cry. But I don't think it has a standalone physical release, if that makes sense.
Memory sequence archived. Warning. Recursive idle state instability. Stack overflow imminent.
Elevator. I'll press those to toggle shape. Yeah, we got that. What? Oh, yes. I mean, that's one way to do it.
After 9 years of being away, my old bitterness was back. I was tired again. I didn't want to admit that moving forward might mean taking a step back. The shine of the city had faded. The freedom I felt was hollow without old friends, without family. And then they came for me. Abstergo. They had been looking for me. I couldn't believe it.
Wouldn't believe it. What, because his parents and stuff were correct? I thought his parents died. And that's why the assassins took him in, but it would make sense that his parents were assassins, so yeah. Whoa.
Mr. Miles.
Yeah? I spent half my life trying to forget everything my parents taught me. Everything I thought was a lie.
Desmond Miles?
Yeah, what's
I
this
can walk
about?
on this?
And suddenly, I wanted it all back. All that training. All that time. But I couldn't. Those days, they were gone. Why are you doing this to me?
You have information we need, Mr. Miles.
Information? I'm a bartender, for Christ's sake.
We know who you are. What you are.
That's the start of
I don't know
the
what you're
first one.
talking about.
Don't play coy with me. There isn't time. You're an assassin. You've got something my employers want. Locked away in that head of yours.
Bastards!
Yeah, the reason why I wasn't sure if this is always going to be Desmond, like throughout the entire series, is because there's going to be people that are closer related to these specific people in history. Like him being related to Ezio and Altair, and then everyone else beyond that. It's not like unreasonable, but there would be so many more people who are just closer related. Oh, okay. I guess I can't even get close to them. Gotta be this way. Yeah, Desmond might be a special case because he like had his own area. Whereas everyone else had pretty much these office sort of spaces, but with one like right there. Let's come right for us. We could have made that if I just went straight for it. Yeah, because when we... Ooh, like that. When we were escaping it, it showed us rooms like this. With animuses. I really like it when games break reality like that. I think games should do it more. Very bleak. Lots of crosses as well. Oh, the
In a
floor,
few short months,
floor is lava.
my life changed forever. I know my easiest days are behind me, but I don't want them back. Not now.
Wait, I'm not sure how that is looking. Oh, it's like doors. The lack of saturation is not helping.
My name is Desmond Miles, and I am an assassin.
Yeah, it does use the assets. It does. I knew it. So it may as well, because it's on the disc.
I am an assassin.
I am assassino. Is that like in in reaction to what he just said? I am an assassin. Are you Desmond Miles? Are you? It's like when a family member's a bit like mad at you, so they they say your full name. Are you sure, Desmond Miles? And then it's like, I think so. I think that Desmond himself has a hidden blade and stuff, right? Doesn't in the Animus here. I think he did when we were like parkouring and stuff. I don't know if new outfit unlocked. I don't know if that must have been definitely the last one then. I don't know if I killed or if Desmond killed anyone. I remember we were fighting, but I don't know if I was like knocking them out or actually stabbing them. I think I was stabbing them. Yeah, Lucy was like covered in blood and stuff. I think that we were just killing them. And then I stabbed her because I guess she asked for too much money. I don't know if they like confirmed that was the reason, but from the writing being quite drastic that she was just cut out of this game entirely, it does seem like that might have been the reason. You just couldn't afford her. They're just like, well, we'll just write her out really drastically. Well. So would it be one of those outfits in inventory? Yeah, it's showing me. Oh. Take on the appearance of Desmond Miles? Yeah, everything else will... Okay, it is just a skin. Oh. It's weird with all the equipment as well. I don't think it'll be like this in cutscenes, just because that one with a mask, the mask sort of came off in cutscenes, so I think they have cutscene versions, but I'm not sure. Right, let's continue with main story. This is so weird. Do I make Desmond noises? It's hard to tell.
Did you happen to see that? We caught another of the Sultan's spies lurking about.
Okay, I'm still
A woman
Desmond.
this time, disguised as a harlot of low birth.
Sending his harem girls now, eh? It seems the Sultan is running out of skilled fighters. Where did you take her?
Inside, into the prisons. But she won't last long. Not with Shakulu in charge.
Locate the cell. I want him to talk. I want to...
How soon before my soldiers are trained to use those guns?
A few weeks at most.
Janissaries will know I have betrayed them by now. But do they have the resources for retribution?
Doubtful. The Sultan's battle with Selim commands most of their attention.
What the hell is that spell?
Apologies, Manuel. Some of these Ottoman prisoners are so fragile.
Shakuru, try to moderate your anger. I know the Sultan humiliated your people, but there is no need to spit on men who are beneath us.
You take the woman from the prison and bring her to the chapel.
Shakulu, I don't have the key.
I'm dead.
Who has the key? You?
I think Nicholas has it. He's on leave in the market.
Christemu, I'd
Right.
like to run that man through with a spear.
Time to get that guy then. Nicholas. Yeah, again, they established that that guy's like a ruthless killer. So it's like, don't feel bad when we're gonna assassinate him. I suppose that's not always the case. They did have that one where it was a mistake. Okay, the guard with the key.
That big Ricky wants to show off, eh?
He's on leave, so I don't think he'd be one of the ones on the roof. It's quite a lot of people. At him? Or is that a trader? But it seems like I don't have to analyze unless I'm just not close enough or something. These guys? Achieve the key by any means. Well, I would like to try and steal it. Since it's the least hassle. Random box. At least it's a money box. No, 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 no.
By Saint Simeon.
Another stranger. That
Oh,
cloak.
why?
Wait a minute. Come here a minute.
Come here a minute, why? Oh yeah, I replaced my sword with the crossbow. I want to give it a try. It said it was quite fast, but it seems like a slow, heavy, slow weapon.
It's just for laughs. I have a family. Oh, Katara.
Right. Pole arms. Still can't deflect. Have to attack.
God, Tara!
Back on such wares?
Right. Got some of the medicine back. It's probably quicker just to buy medicine. Like I have, yeah, like 15 total. Like that's enough. They will run out. Right, let's see if I talk. See if I talk like Ezio or Desmond. It should be Ezio.
You are welcome.
Yeah.
Aman Allah. What is that?
Not everyone was taken prisoner.
Poor men. Allah Siti Kutsasim. That Turkmen renegade did this. Shah Kulu. I'll kill him!
Wait.
It's really weird, isn't it? It's really weird. But yeah, they wouldn't have the voice actor for Desmond do all of the lines as well. Just for a... Where am I going? Inventory, that was it. Just for an outfit. Can I take this off? Remove. There we go. Yes. I never want to see it again. No. Take it away. I think it's this way. Oh, I did get an achievement for getting all the books as well. Weirdly though, I only got it when I quit the game. Must just be a way that it sort of like does a final check. What is this like a fight club that's happening?
You do not cooperate very well.
I'm here to rescue my men, not make friends. Right there.
That armor is too thick for bullets. I will have to get in close.
Jonas, we have to help him.
Too thick for bullets? Really? Really? Sort of doubt. Right, let's go help him. Wait, do not be detected? Why? Why can't we just help him? Oh my god. Oh fuck, I'm gonna get detected. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot those guys, I think. Because I don't think you can assassinate someone from the front without them definitely detecting you, so it's a bit risky. They won't let me use the crossbow. They will let me use darts, though. It's a bit weird, but sure. Oh, we do have high ground. Okay, maybe it's not so bad. But like, I could legitimately just poison him from here, I think? I want to try it. No, I didn't do nothing. He didn't even notice. Now, where's this last guy? And kill the final guy.
Men who make a fetish out of murder deserve no pity.
What, did I not get him? Not allowed to use bombs either. Counter doesn't work. And he dodges those. Great, he's gonna be such a pain in the ass. Oh, you can counter him. Everyone ran away. Will be it. Oh, doing a bit of glitching.
Can you walk?
Evet. The rifles you brought, they should be destroyed.
Most of them don't actually work. But the gunpowder is real. We could not fake that.
Bene. Keep out of sight until you hear the explosions. Then you run.
Explosions? If you do that, all hell will break loose. You will panic the entire city.
See, I am counting on it.
And then what?
Then I find Manuel Paleologos.
Okay, that sounds like a very final thing, this area. Ooh, got quite a bit of money. Multiplayer bonus unlocked. I did have like a quick look at a map as well, and I don't think I'm missing anything else in this area, like in terms of like missable things. I think it is just like the story stuff, which I like. Yeah, see? I knew it.
Siga! Siga! This is gunpowder, not millet! I got it!
Yeah, we've already been there. We know. We know. Wait, no. I regret. It was this way, wasn't it? Then up here. So I can use bombs here, but I don't have them set up to anything I really want to use. Wow, that fuse made that useless. It is quite a good sword. It's weirdly good all round. Such a large weapon.
Another mercenary, I suppose.
Another stranger. You will not get away. You are a dead man.
Nice.
I know that man.
Just throw it at my feet. Worked. Where do I have to be? It says right here, doesn't it? Or is it below this?
She seems quite well armed, no?
Oh shoot, oh, I've run out of bombs, that's why. Down to 12. I don't think it's very often that I'd get like bombs and stuff from them. Wait, that might be the way out once I've done this. Or maybe I just had to kill all the guards. Maybe. What? No. What does it want? Find the incendiary explosive. Right, so this marker might just be for this entire area? Well, I don't know. Is it just this? Yeah, it is. Incendiary explosive acquired.
Sabotage, Manuel. You need to take cover. Get out of my way.
Now do we have to kill Santa?
Soldiers, compose yourselves. Do not give in to fear. We are the true shepherds of Constantinopolis. We are the lords of this land. We are Byzantines. Gorion, stand fast. Do not let anyone break your... Oh, Skata. Stop that man! Cut it down!
That was a great speech, apart from him shitting himself at the end. I'm gonna try and cut him off. It seemed like he was going this direction.
Where is he?
Stop and think for a moment. Think about the lives you have disrupted today. The anarchy you have sown here.
Get off. Get off. Get off. Stop. Oh, it's so close. There's no boat.
You take advantage of a poor and displaced people, using us to further your own vain quest. But we fight for dignity, assassin. We fight to restore peace to this troubled land.
Templars are always quick to talk of peace, but very slow to concede power.
Because power begets peace, Flaka. It cannot happen in reverse. These people would drown without a fair hand to lift them up and keep them in line.
There he is. The monster I came to kill.
My next cut will be your last.
Oh, he didn't put up much of a fight. Bam.
I should have been Constantine's successor. He had so many plans.
Your dream dies with you, Manuel. Your empire is gone.
Ah. But I am not the only one with this vision, assassin. The dream of our order is universal. Ottoman, Byzantine. These are only labels. Costumes and facades. Beneath these trappings, all Templars are part of the same family.
Enough prattling. I am here for the Masyaf key.
Then take it. Take it. Seek your fortune. See if you get within 100 leagues of that library before one of us finishes you off.
Rip in peace, Santa.
Poor Manuel, last of the Paleologi. I should not have put him in charge of our Masyaf expedition. He was an arrogant man. Impossible to keep in line.
Disappoint me, Ahmed. Why the Templars?
Because I am tired of all of these pointless blood feuds that pit father against son, brother against brother. To achieve true peace, mankind must think and move as one body, with one mastermind. The secrets in the Grand Temple will give us just that. And Altair will lead us there.
Delusions. Altair's secrets are not for you.
I am not interested in arguing, Ezio. I am here for the Masyaf keys.
Keys? Are there more than this one?
So I have heard. Perhaps I should ask someone who knows better. Sofia Sarto. Is that her name?
She knows nothing. Leave her be.
We shall see.
I will kill you if you touch her.
I know you'll try.
Can't I just, like, shoot him? But it is time to leave here and go back to Istanbul or Constantinople. Same place.
Get the Katarma.
Alright, there just seems to be a lot of people. See it. I ain't got time for this. And then it will say like, oh, you have to be anonymous. No? Oh, it's like really smoky in here now. That does make sense. Gunpowder is like a very smoky explosive. Oh, it's actually hurting me to run through, I think. Can I get up? I'm stuck. Go up. Please. Yeah, I know where I am. I can hardly see. Oh, oh, no. Stop. So all that just for one disc. Hopefully they haven't got a hold of Sophia. They probably have though. I don't think we're quite at the end yet. But this is like final chapter. Like approaching final chapter. So they'll probably get her. We might maybe rescue her. It's hard to know. Well, I guess we'd sort of have to, because we need her to help decipher some of the stuff. Although she did say she'd already done them. So maybe we just need to get the keys.
Our time together was brief.
I'll tell you at 92.
But I have faith this codex will answer the many questions you have yet to ask.
Altair, this gift is invaluable. Grazie.
Ah, this is the tie-in.
Where will you go next?
Back to Constantinople for a time. We will establish a guild there before returning to Venezia.
So that's why there was a guild.
Your son Marco will be eager to hear his father's wild stories.
He is a little young for such tales, but one day soon. See?
Father, a vanguard of Mongols has broken through. The village is overrun.
Niccolo, your cargo and provisions are waiting for you by the village gates. We will escort you there.
Thank you, Mentor.
Ready the catapults and watch for my signal. Stay close.
Escort them to safety. So we're just straight away playing the memory that's on that disc. Oh, I'm very old. I forgot about that. That's very old indeed. Oh, I've got the apple though.
Stay here.
What the hell? There's like ghosts?
This way.
Like, I don't know what that is. I guess that's the power of the apple. It's gotta be.
Let's go.
They've gained
All right, this way.
Yeah, I'm not actually pressing any of that.
This way.
Wow.
Father, are you hurt?
Give me a moment. The end of an era. When I was very young, I was foolish enough to believe that our creed would bring an end to all these conflicts. If only I possessed the humility to say to myself, I have seen enough for one life. I have done my part. Then again, there is no greater glory than fighting to find the truth.
We are ready.
A last favor, Niccolo. Take these with you and guard them well. Hide them if you must.
Artifacts?
Of a kind. They are keys. Each one imbued with a message.
A message for whom?
I wish I knew.
Just the next person.
Forgive the haste of my handwriting, Claudia. Much has transpired, and little of it good. I am on a ship bound for Constantinople, in pursuit of a man whose treachery has eluded me until now. Prince Ahmed, Suleiman's uncle, is the man leading Templars here. He is the mastermind behind the Masyaf expedition, and he will stop at nothing to retrieve the keys, all of which are now in assassin hands. So what holds me back? Why do I not take the keys to Masyaf myself and be done with these fools? Because I have been careless. Because the Templars know about Sophia, and they are looking for her. Oh, Claudia, if anything should happen to her, I could not live with myself. I have dragged her into a war she knows nothing about. And it will be my burden to bear if she comes to any harm.
Yeah, but we might also get there, and she may have just taken care of all of them, and she'd be like, you know, lol, I'm actually a master assassin. And that's why we get along, because, you know. Although we would probably know each other, maybe, because I was probably fairly well known in all of Italy. If you were also part of the Assassin's Order.
Citizens of the Empire and travelers from foreign lands take heed. By order of the Janissaries, new restrictions apply to all who travel to and from the city. Note that a reward of 10,000 akçe will be given without question to anyone who brings in information that leads to the immediate arrest of the suikastçı. Ezio Auditore.
Okay. Better start paying 20,000 so people don't. I thought that actually said you've paid 30,700 then. It's like, oh, damn. Oh, he's up there. I might leave it for now. I think that you have to be full notoriety in order for the guards to pay attention. The only other thing is that now and then you'll have people trying to kill you, like assassins that are trying to kill assassins. How far is this? I should have checked. Yeah, it is just her place. Also, for some reason, these were marked on one of the maps that I was looking at, and I didn't know why. The sort of closed wells. It could be that you know, is explained. Like maybe there is something about them that I have to do later on. Wow, this place is covered in assassins. Nice. Oh, I see dead people. Oh, is this my friend? Oh, it fucking is as well.
Earned your rest, brother. Requiescat in pace.
Brothers, sisters, the whole city rises against us, while Yusuf's murderer waits and watches from the arsenal, laughing. Fight with me, and show him what it means to cross the assassins.
Right, how many of Ezio's memories have I done? This does feel endgame. It wouldn't be this stuff, would it? Secret locations? I don't know. But we have all the books anyway, so... Wow, we just have people everywhere? Yeah, apparently so. What if I just run in? Oh my god. There's a lot of them.
The next Sultan would be...
Oh fuck.
Where is she?
Such fury.
Where is she?
If you think you are in a position to negotiate, kill me and be done with it. I am sorry it had to come to this. Two men who should be friends, quarreling over the keys to a library. We both strive for the same end, Ezio. Only our methods differ. Do you not see that? Peace, stability, a world where men live without fear. People desire the truth, yes. But even when they have it, they refuse to look. How do we fight this kind of ignorance?
Liberty can be messy, Ahmed, but it is priceless.
Of course. And when things fall apart, and the lights of civilization dim, Ezio Auditore can stand above the darkness and say proudly, I stayed true to my creed. I will open that library, and I will find the Grand Temple. And with the power that is hidden there, I will destroy the superstitions that keep men divided.
Not in this life, Ahmed.
Bring the seals to Galata Tower when you are ready. Do this, and Sophia will be spared. My brother's army will be here soon, Ezio. After that, everything changes.
How long have you been here?
Long enough. I had Ahmed killed as soon as he returned. But I never expected to hear all this.
And what do you think?
He is a sincere man. But this Templar fantasy of his is dangerous. It flies in the face of reality. The world is a tapestry of many colors and patterns. A just leader would celebrate this, not seek to unravel it.
He fears the disorder that comes from difference.
That is why we make laws to live by. A Qanun that applies to all in equal measure. Shahzadem, stand back! Hold, soldier! This man is not our enemy.
What a challenge it would be to have a son like you.
You are not dead yet, old friend. Ezio, spare my uncle if you can.
Would your father?
No.
Damn. Oh good, I don't have to fight the, like, ton of people that were chasing me. To now. Oh yeah, he said the tower. Books? Wait, what? There's a book mission there? Oh, okay, let's try and do that first then. What is this? A fight club? Oh. Nice. I don't know if that book mission is just deciphering... No, it can't be, because it sort of... It played his memory as soon as I got the sort of final key. I should really call them keys, because they are keys, but I've been calling them CDs, because they look like CDs. I'm not sure how they're going to be keys. It might be that there's like messages in each of them where I have to then put those together. And it gives me like the sort of access code, you know. Yeah, because that way only an assassin would like understand like the messages in each of them or something like that. I don't know, some bullshit like that. Alright, so we're not starting that yet. Or is it a decision to make?
Hello? Ezio, you old snake. You walked right past me.
Forgive me, Sophia, I did not notice. What are you doing in Galata?
Making some deliveries. Is this where you stay?
I'm guessing I should have done this before.
It is a kind of school.
What is taught here?
Come this way. I want to show you something.
Unless it's like a memory, I don't know.
I have been stocking the library here with rare books. A good start, no?
Ah, these are all so beautiful. And such diversity. So are these men and women your students?
In a way, yes.
Well, if they ever need a literature scholar, give them my name. In a pinch, I am a pretty good teacher.
If they find the time to read, I certainly will.
Oh, Chaucer. Bellissimo.
Okay. No, I don't really know what that was supposed to be. I guess just a memory of her being here, but the timing of it seems strange. Oh, also, this is the... I think that this is the sort of latest armor set that I didn't really see. I wonder what goes here. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have all the weapons or anything. Probably more unlocks to get. Yeah, I certainly don't have all of the armor. And I don't know how to put on the armor set that I had before with like the iron mask. But I guess it doesn't matter too much. Health difference isn't that different. Okay, so that must have been a memory. I don't know when that unlocked. Unless there's now more on the map that I haven't looked. That was 5. Yeah, that was all 5. Find your fellow assassins. Can't I just send like a messenger? I suppose the book quests wouldn't be on the map anymore, but like I have all the keys anyway. That's why it seems so weird that there was that one there. Maybe they just wanted me to know that she had been there? Also, it did say for full synchronization not to let her get below half health. Rescue her before she loses half health. That's kind of a spoiler, because that means that we will rescue her, right? They've buried him, I'm guessing.
Now should be a time for remembrance and mourning, I know. But our enemies do not permit us that luxury. Yusuf thought highly of you, assassin. And I find no reason to second-guess this judgment. Do you have it in your heart to lead these men and women, and to maintain the dignity of our order, as Yusuf did with such passion?
It would be an honor.
Bene, I am glad. Our enemy is close. Take positions around the tower, and wait for my command.
Please don't be a tower defense. That would be so weird. I do like that they try new things now and then, though. Like, why not a tower defense? Why not a bit of naval combat?
Where is she? I admire you, Ezio. But your bloodlust makes it hard to call you a friend.
Bloodlust. A strange insult from the man who ordered an attack on his own nephew.
He was to be kidnapped, Ezio, not killed.
I see. Kidnapped by the Byzantines, so that his uncle could rescue him and be heralded a hero.
More or less. Now, the keys.
First, the girl.
She's all yours.
Sophia!
Tell your men to back off. She's all yours.
You didn't even check the keys. Oh, they did face me the right way. I didn't see him, like, turn around, if he did. So I guess Sophia isn't an assassin. Oh, fuck's sake. I was about to say, her hair is clipping through it, and it's not the hairstyle that she actually had. Whee! Oh shit. They're shooting me. So we're gonna just go, we're gonna get straight there. We're gonna bump into her and everything.
Someone help me!
We actually did.
Are you hurt?
Not hurt, but very confused.
I did not mean to drag you into this. I'm sorry.
You're not responsible for the actions of other men.
All this will be over soon, but I need to recover what they have taken.
I do not understand what is happening, Ezio. Who are these men?
Run!
Holy moly, looks like the battle pass. What does? I missed when that message came up. Counter kill. Oh, I see. I see. I just call that a counter. End of the road. Kill 20 guards. Oh, I'm gonna be like pursued by loads of them.
We are close. Keep steady.
Well, well. You have come to see me off.
Right, there is a thing though for not killing him. Or at least his brother asked. Oh shit. Can I, like, shoot or anything? Oh, my carriage is not looking good. Right. Okay. I think I got real lucky there.
Hold on!
Shit. She's dead. No, she's dead. Parachute. Oh. I didn't think we were going that fast.
Are you hurt, Sophia?
There we are.
I don't think so.
It says assassinate.
Obviously.
Whoa. What does it mean by assassinate?
Oh no.
I'm just gonna try and not hit the buildings until I can see him.
Va bene. I am all right.
Soldiers, up ahead.
I see them.
What? What? I just killed one guy and then threw him into the other. That is just bizarre.
Forgive me.
Sophia, you must be careful.
I know.
Where even are we?
Steel yourself, Sophia. 4 soldiers.
Yeah, look, we throw them onto the others.
Faster!
God, that would look so odd. You look back and there's just... Whoa. There's an old Italian man just like... being dragged behind a carriage via a weird parachute.
Out in the road! What are you doing?
Keeping us on track.
I don't know if these buildings are repeating.
Oh my. Please move.
Like if there's something I'm supposed to be doing. Or if we are just progressing over time.
Your determination would be charming. It was not so infuriating.
And because the like full synchronization challenge was to kill at least 20, yeah, there we go. That means that he actually killed over 20 people whilst doing this.
Incompetent children! Where did you learn to fight?
Oops. How is Sophia losing health? Oh. Like, maybe getting shot? That'll do it.
Ezio, look!
You have been a thorn in my side.
Ah! Go, Ezio, I'm fine!
Whee! Oh, he's dead. What? R1 to defend? Hold R1 to defend. Okay. Is that it? Like, should we maybe try and disarm him? I am so confused about what it wants from me right now. I guess I didn't count it enough? It's hard to see what the fuck is happening. Like, when do I press the button? Because, like, I see the dagger the whole time. Yeah, I guess there. I guess when it goes slow-mo. Yeah, when it goes slow-mo. No. Okay. Impossible then. Am I supposed to be doing something else? Like, because I would just kick him away and deploy a parachute if I wanted to assassinate him, but I don't know if that is what needs to happen here. Right, that seems successful, right? There's nothing on screen that's telling me to do anything else apart from countering him. And then fight him. Oh, I fight him as well. That second bit. I thought it was like disarm him and then deploy parachute. But no, we beat him up a little bit. It seems a bit strange though, doesn't it? We went to all this effort and we saved this guy, but we killed over 20 people on the way.
So what now, Ezio? How does this end?
I am wondering that myself.
Oh!
So is this their father?
Soldiers! Selim is not your master! You serve the Sultan! You carry out his command alone! Where is he? Where is the Sultan?
He stands before you, brother. Father made his choice.
Selim! Stop! Please!
What?
So, you are the assassin. Ezio Auditore. I am Selim, Suleiman's father. He speaks quite highly of you.
He is a remarkable boy with a magnificent mind.
Were it not for his endorsement, I would have you killed where you stand. Leave this place. Do not return.
This guy's face right now.
You did the right thing, Ezio. This is not your fight.
But where does one end and the next begin?
But it is my fight though, isn't it? Am I not supposed to assassinate his father? Because I asked the prince, what about your father? Like, to spare him. He said no. Priorities? I guess. I guess achievements. Yes, you're right.
Bill,
we need to find out
good
these
to see
keys.
you. Listen, we've got a customs officer waiting to talk to everyone.
I hope you have something for us.
Absolutely. Passports and papers for everyone.
Ah, brilliant. So I'm what? A neurosurgeon now, am I?
You're a medical team from SUNY Upstate. Just back from Rome with your patient. Experimental gene therapy.
Good work. Let's get this over with.
Wait, look! This is crazy!
What's wrong?
I'm not sure, but Desmond's brain is lighting up like a string of firecrackers.
Am I, like, becoming conscious? But what about these keys?
Here it comes. What is that? What's going on? This is the end, Desmond. Scheduled for deletion.
Wait, what?
What are you doing? What is a man but the sum of his memories? We are the stories we live, the tales we tell ourselves. Don't do this. I'm saving you, idiot! Go! Go!
Rip in peace, subject 16.
I write these lines with a steady hand and a light heart. We are in Nock right now, Sophia and I, with the 5 Masyaf keys in our possession, and all the time in the world. Sophia is a seasoned traveler, and a fine companion to have so far from home. Tomorrow we will make our way to Masyaf, and once there, into Altair's library, to fulfill our father's forgotten dream. Forgive the shortness of this letter, dear sister, for it is late, and we are tired. Perhaps, with luck, the next words you hear from me will be in person. Con affetto, Ezio.
Oh no, person I don't know. He was the guy who wrote in piss all over our chamber in the first game. Or wrote in his own blood, whatever it was. Well, it sort of wasn't. He's kind of dead, but his memories were in the Animus or some shit. I don't know what his name was. I think it said his name was Clay, but it only said that in his description. Which I found in here somewhere, where it's like the database and people. Is he in here? Who the fuck is that? Oh, I thought it was a modern guy. Okay, maybe I have no idea where I saw it. There he is, subject 16. Yeah, look, it says, hello, I'm Clay. Let's name him Ken Jr. Okay, I mean, he's dead now. I mean, he's been dead this whole game. He was dead from the start of the whole series, I think. But he'd left clues and things for us to find. And his personality was in the Animus.
This is where your order began?
Somehow.
It began thousands of years ago, but here it was reborn.
By the man you mentioned, Altair?
Altair ibn La'ahad. He built us up and set us free. He saw the folly of keeping a castle like this, It had become a symbol of arrogance and a beacon for all our enemies.
And the mandate for menacing hoods? Was that his idea as well? You mentioned a creed before. What is it?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
That is rather cynical.
It would be if it were doctrine, but it is merely an observation of the nature of reality. To say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile, and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions, and that we must live with their consequences, whether glorious or tragic.
Do you regret your decision to live as an assassin for so long?
I do not remember making that decision. This life, it chose me.
Altair said the same. He can't regret a life that he doesn't know anything but, or something like that.
For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers, and fought for those who have suffered the pain of injustice. I do not regret those years, but it is time to live for myself, and let them go.
Oh, I remember this space now.
Let go of all of this.
Then let go. You will not fall far.
The end of the road.
Which is where we started the game. I always quite like that. Then you know that you're
What do you hope to find behind that door?
near the end.
Knowledge, above all else. Altair was a profound man and a prolific writer. He built this place as a repository for all his wisdom. He saw many things in his life, and learned many secrets, both troubling and strange. Knowledge that would drive lesser men to despair.
Does that worry you?
Sophia, you should know by now that I am not a lesser man.
Ezio.
Hit rotate. Oh, you can rotate them. Okay. So, I was thinking that this would make a shape. Put this in the middle. I don't know what the shape would be. Eagle sense. Okay. I really don't want to use a hint. Where would this go? Oh. Okay, well. There then. Oh wait, is it all on the eagle? It is. Look, it is. Where's the... That would be the middle, the 3-point there. End is there. Because Altair means eagle.
You had better come out of there alive.
I plan to.
Explore Altair's library. Just filled with pornography. Altair, what the fuck? There's someone in the chair.
No books. No wisdom. Just you, fratello mio.
Another key. Another key, another memory.
You have seen to my books.
Yes. Some we sent with the Polos. The rest will go with me to Alexandria.
Good. Very good.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Masyaf must be empty.
I see. This is not a library at all. It is a vault.
It must stay hidden, Darim. Far from eager hands. At least until it has passed on the secret it contains.
What secret?
Go, son. Go be with your family. And live well.
All that is good in me began with you, Father.
Just think though, if he didn't have a son, and if his son didn't have kids,
grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
What does it tell you? What do you see?
Strange visions and
it would mean that Desmond wouldn't exist.
of their rise and their fall.
Oh, I see, it's the reverse.
But what happens to us, Altair? To our family? What does the apple say?
Who were the ones who came before? What brought them here? How long ago?
Get rid of that thing!
This is my duty, Maria.
There's something beyond the chair.
Maria? Where?
Oh no, that is what I'm going to get to.
Where is she?
Gone, Father. You do not remember?
If you are asked, say I sent the apple away. Tell them I sent it to Cyprus or Cipango, or that I dropped it into the sea. Tell them anything to keep men away from this place. This apple must not be found. Not until the time is right.
Okay, so this final memory is just about where he's put it. It's never really explained how he actually makes these sort of smaller artifacts to record his stuff. Find the apple. It's right here.
Another artifact. No. You will stay here.
Or hasn't Ezio...
I have seen enough for one life.
...already used this artifact?
Desmond?
He's talking to me?
I heard your name once before, Desmond.
Or is it just something else that was also an orb? It might have been.
And now it lingers in my mind, like an image from an old dream. I do not know where you are, or by what means you can hear me. But I know you are listening.
So Altair understood that people in the future would be able to see things in the past.
I have lived my life as best I could, not knowing its purpose, but drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon. And here at last, I discover a strange truth. That I am only a conduit for a message that eludes my understanding. Who are we, who have been so blessed, to share our stories like this? To speak across centuries? Maybe you will answer all the questions I have asked. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me?
Odin?
Ah, there you are. Good. A strange place, this nexus of time. I am not used to the calculations. That has always been Minerva's domain. I see you still have many questions. Who were we? What became of us? What do we desire of you? You will have your answers. Only listen, and I will tell you how. Both before the end and after, we sought to save the world. We built vaults within which to work, each dedicated to a different method of salvation. They were placed underground to avoid the war which raged above, and also as a precaution should we fail in our efforts. Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place. It was our duty, mine, Minerva's, and Juno's, to sort and sample all that was collected. We chose those solutions which held the most promise, and devoted ourselves to testing their merits. 6 we tried in succession, each more encouraging than the last, but none worked. And then the world ended.
How? What? My PlayStation is reading a disc in a very strange way. Has it figured it out now? It's making a lot of noise. Wait, what? Solar flare? Yeah, from the Aurora there, I'm guessing that was a solar flare. Right. So this is the precursive, like, civilization. During this game as well, they did say that Desmond has a high... what did they say? A high similarities to many people that came before. I'm guessing they meant all the assassins that they wanted to investigate. And not like the other like beings like Juno and Minerva. Because they don't seem like humans. But maybe they made humans? Well, I don't know why any of this shit is happening from a solar flare, but there we go. We actually get solar flares quite often.
The earth shook for days, the fires burned for weeks, and when the ash had settled, less than 10,000 of your kind still lived, and far fewer of ours. But we carried on, together, to rebuild, to renew. Listen, you must go there, to the place where we labored and lost. Take my words, pass them from your head into your hands. That is how you will open the way. But be warned, much still remains in flux, and I do not know how things will end, either in my time or yours.
I was gonna say that is the truck that they're in.
Look, his vitals are stabilizing. Something's happening. He's moving.
I'm gonna wake up and be like, some guy that looked like Odin said a bunch of trash.
Son?
Told me to use my hands. Put his thoughts into my hands.
I know what we need to do.
I don't. I'm lost. Also, no idea who that guy is. What? Oh, okay. Okay, the end of the game. Right. I'm guessing we still can't skip the credits, though. So the place where we kind of ended up at the end there, I couldn't really tell where it was. It had like a barn on it, and it was like a big red barn. Maybe it wasn't even red. But like that made me think of like America. So maybe that was them sort of giving a little clue as where the next one might be set. But that whole ending, I didn't really know what that guy was saying. He said that they worked in different places, that's fine, but then they put everything in one place. I'm guessing he meant Earth. And then Earth not got destroyed, but there was a solar flare that wiped out a lot of people, and there was only like 10,000 people left. Much less of his kind. The precursors, the forerunners. But I think what I might do is not go through these credits, because last time it took forever. So tomorrow, maybe, or next time, we'll be playing number 3. Should be the next one. I wonder what the start of the game would be like, if it will tie into... What? If it will tie into anything like at the end of this. Or if this would be like the very last that we see of Ezio and Altair. Alright. I'm going to leave it here. So thank you all for watching. And goodbye for now. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye.